Hello and welcome to the Team Bus. This is the companion podcast to the Beyond the Slipstream main show. My name's Matt. I'm here with my brother Justin, and we're going to get into some stuff that we didn't have time to get into on the main show today. Uh, what you want to start off with?
I figure that we should maybe go into the kind of the racing couple of things, and then finish off with your. And it looks like you got some non racing stuff in there as well, and mine's all pretty much racing related. So we could either do news first, or we could do one day racing first.
All right, so we'll do the one day racing, starting with the Andorra Classic, won by our guy, Matthias Skelmos, who's had an up and down season. This guy, he just, I wish he could be more consistent because it's like when he's up, he's way up, but when he's down, he is down. He's down, he's out.
Well, yeah,
Drop,
I mean he wasn't
dropping out of
healthy. He wasn't
races.
healthy for like well over a month.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but thrilled to see our boy take a win. Um, and he really played it well. I don't know if he was bluffing when he was like dropping off the back with like 4K to go. Um, or if he was really struggling. But Enrique Mas and the boys blew it hard when Skelmos was out the back door and they're sitting up there arguing with each other. It's like, hey, dum dums, he's the most dangerous one of all of you. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah,
your
yeah.
asses up the road while the getting's good. And instead, they're sitting there yelling at each other. I'm just like, Moss, man, you were too old to still be engaging in this kind of shit. Like, you need to be able to read situations like this, realize what you have, and get moving.
Well, he didn't read it right at all, and
No,
when
really.
Skelma started rocking and rolling, I mean, there wasn't any catching him at that point. So, boneheaded on Enrique Mas and Movistar's point.
Well, I mean, Skelmos didn't like win from a breakaway or anything. I mean, they all went to the finish, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. They would have known even taking him to the finish that he's going to beat them in the sprint. Um, so I don't know if you caught the sign of the cross that Skelmos made when he went across the finish line. Did you see that?
Yes, different.
Just like, yeah, that's different. Or I mean, I don't get too thrilled with like guys that do the religious stuff or thank you Jesus, when they're in their post race interview. Hey, yeah, talk to me about the race. Well, I just want to thank the Lord Jesus from heaven above. Like, you know, that's kind of a
I tell
turn
you
off
what,
for
that's
me.
a thing that's not very prevalent in cycling. It's very, very like they're always thanking their team, not God.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. But occasionally you get these guys, or you cross themselves when they take off. You get guys that cross themselves when they win, et cetera, et cetera. So, nonetheless, I did not know that Skelmos was of that bent, so that came as a little bit of a surprise to me. But you're right. It was unique. That
Yeah,
was for
it's
sure. Is that
definitely
what you
different.
said? Unique? Yeah,
It's
different.
different. It was different.
Different. Mhm.
Okay, so I did not watch the
Elfstead and Rhonda.
Elstead and Randa. No, I did
I did
not
not watch
watch
the
that.
Elfstead and Rhonda, so we're not going to comment on that at all.
Okay, so let's go into some stuff that I found interesting around the news world with concerns to racing this week. Um, Pogacar's just out there like taunting people at this point. Like he like in I feel like in any other sport, like people are gonna be like fuck around and find out, man. Like, oh yeah, yeah, like it would stoke the fires. But it's like this guy's so goddamn good that like he can just straight up talk shit to everybody, and basically was taunting his rivals to look for my weak spots. All right, what weak spots, dude? Like, come on, like
It's
you
it's
know,
funny you mentioned that particular turn of phrase, "fuck around and find out," because uh, that is exactly the term that one of the Lantern Rouge guys talked about, used when they were talking about something that we talked about in the main show this week, which is the Oscar Riesebeck from Alpecin jumping, like bunny hopping in front of the entire peloton, and then when he tries to do it again,
Yeah, the
fuck
guy from
around
Little
and find
Checks.
out
Yeah,
what
fuck around and find out,
the
asshole. Yeah,
like you're not coming back in, bro. Get your ass back on that
yeah.
sidewalk. Go
So
face plant.
he literally said that my first tip is to train consistently throughout the year, no excuses. He said that way there won't be any excuses like Tade is faster. Like he is just straight up out there. Like, and again, it was all in good fun. He was talking about some charity thing that he's doing, but
Now that
there's
raises an interesting point, though. Do you get the feeling that Pogacar is just like he just trains, like he's just a training machine, like he has got life whittled down to the bare essentials, and that guy just wakes up and trains, and then
yeah, but
has a nice
like I
fucking
mean,
movie
if you
at
follow
lunch.
him on social media, he is fun. He goes out to he's always showing like the little cafes and whatnot they go to. But the dude lives his life on the bike. All right, his life is the bike.
Yeah.
He does not have kids. Okay,
Mhm.
which at this point I will say is the family, like Jonas is such a family guy that like that may be a weakness for him versus
Oh,
Tade.
people say that everything changed for Wild Van Aert as soon as the kid was born.
Right. So, um, I don't know. But I do. I think the kid lives his life on the bike. His girlfriend rides the bike. So even when he's with his girlfriend, they're riding the bike. You know what I mean? Like this is life. And I also think that he has a singular focus when it comes to, I think he does want to be the best. Like I think that is an absolute 100% goal of his is, he wants to be the best there is. And
It's like he has a perfect mind and he has a perfect body. His body is absolutely perfect for what it's suited to. Um, it's like that once in a lifetime combination of a guy who's got the exact perfect physiology to do what he does, combined with a mindset of a guy that is just
laser focused.
110% cycling. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild. It's
Um,
absolutely wild.
on the flip side of the Tadej Pogacar coin, Remco is apparently training angry. Um, he is furious, reportedly, over their performance in the Dauphiné, and so he is, even more like just burying himself into training, and but again, I as good as he is, man, I don't think he has the team around him. I think the split focus with this team is going to be the downfall because I just don't think he's got the weapons that these other two teams that is essentially really the only people that are he's riding against. But I mean, Visma Lab came out with their official lineup today, so like we now know the 8 riders that are riding, or the 7 riders that are now riding with Jonas Vingegaard. All right, with 100%, it's Kuss. All right, it's Van Aert. All right, it's Vic Campenarts. It's Matteo Jorgensen. It's Tej Benut, Eduardo Affini. And who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. I'd have to go to the thing. Anyway, Murderer's Row. All right,
Oh,
crazy,
Kelderman.
great. No. See, now you're gonna. It's in the other notes. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Jonas, Seth, Wout, Mateo, Campenarts. Oh, Yates, Affini,
Yay.
Benut. Quietly sneaking onto the team, even on the team bus, he's quietly sneaking into the lineup. I forgot that he was even in the lineup. So, they've got a murderer's row. Pogacar looks to have Almeida, Yates, Sivakov, Soler, Paulett, and Wellens. That's not confirmed, but that is his lineup of riders. That is the tentative thought. So
You said Soler? Soler?
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Oh,
I
man.
mean, Almeida and Yates, his lieutenants. You know, man, I just like okay on paper. And again, we'll get more into this on another show. But Jonas, Sepp, Mateo, I think better than Pogacar, Almeida, Yates. Because don't forget, they also have a Yates in their back pocket that just won a Grand Tour. But if you're going off of those two lieutenants, and this is another reason why I think Visma Lab has an edge. You also throw
Wait,
in Wout and Yates, and
is
if you're
Del Toro there as
comparing,
well?
say what?
Is Del Toro there?
No, he's not on this list. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know if that and again I don't. This is not an official. It's a confirmed list from Visma. It is not confirmed from UAE. That is the speculative lineup going into it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I feel like looking at that, that's what that lineup is missing is Del Toro. I think that you probably have to forego, one of the, you know, and that's only 7 riders, so he could be Del Toro could be in
What
that
about
mix.
Jay
Those are the
Vine?
say what?
What about Jay Vine? Is he injured?
I don't know, but I don't know if I don't. I mean, if your choice is Del Toro or Jay Vine, I'm taking Del Toro all day long. And Del Toro could be in that 8 because I'm sorry, that's only 7 riders right now that they were speculating about. So it could be Pogacar, Almeida, Yates, Del Toro, Sivakov, Soler, Paul at Wellens. But it's if you're taking out the top 2 guys, I think the the 3 riders that Visma has are better than the 3 riders that he has, and that's saying something because Joe Almeida is a damn stud, and so is Del Toro. But I just think the experience of you. I mean, you've got a multiple stage race winner, Matteo Jorgensen. You've got and 2 Grand Tour winners. All right, backing up another Grand Tour winner. So you have 3 Grand Tour winning riders on that team. All
It's
right.
on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, it is. It's a great lineup. So okay, all right. Moving on from that, hold on. I gotta go back to my other notes here. Hold on
Well,
one
what I
second.
don't understand is why is Remco so furious? Like that was the whole point of this train of thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, so he's mad about their performance in the Dauphiné. So he is training angry, according to sources. So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see if it translates. We'll see if it translates into something. Um, Speaking of Visma, Danish icon Ralph Sorensen says that Visma has something that UAE don't. Your best friend Wout van Aert, not Wout van Forth anymore. Wout van Aert.
He's your best friend. My best friend
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah. This is
from
this is true.
Palace.
I do love me some
Um,
Wout van Aert. Um, and he
that's
cites
true. I mean, this plays right into like the our whole theory. I mean, and this is where we find out.
absolutely because what he said is look at what Wout did for Yates. All right, because
Hmm.
I think you even said it last week that it's very likely that is the reason that Yates, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, the reason that Yates was able to put that much time in is because of Wout, and they agree with you. Okay, you said it, they said it, I agree with it. He's the wild card in this situation because I, I don't give a shit. There is not a Wout Van Aert on UAE. All right, not in that lineup anyway. And then
At least in terms of somebody that can be just like so deeply relied upon.
now Chris Horner, and that was where my other note kind of went because there was, obviously with the Tour de France ramping up, there's a lot of talk about these big teams. Chris Horner really was down on I don't know if you saw his most recent. I don't know if it's the most recent one, but he was down on Visma Labs' performance at the Dauphiné. He really feels like they blew it. interesting it's an interesting perspective. I mean, he doesn't mix words at all. I mean, if he thinks that you were, and of course, he used the term knuckleheads. That's what got, and ironically, that got picked up on Cycling Up to Date, and like in the headline, like former Grand Tour winner, says Visma Labs were knuckleheads at the Dauphiné, and
I love it.
so you know the way that and again, I go back and I think, like, look what they did in the Giro, all right, and they didn't have Wout van Aert for Jonas this week. All right, if Wout van Aert is at the Dauphiné with Jonas, is it a different race? I think it is a different race. So, in 3 week stage races, this team has proven that they can beat Pogacar. They've done it twice. All right, and I will not say it's hard to say that it's the Pogacar that they're racing against right now, because I do think the Pogacar they're racing against now is better than the Pogacar they beat 2 years in a row.
I'm going to
Um,
push back a little bit. I'm going to push back a little bit. As I look back on the Dauphiné, the stages where Pogacar won, it was only after he had whittled it down to himself and Jonas that he pulled out the wins on these stages. I mean, he would basically just get it down to him and Jonas, and then like he would ride away. He did that like twice
mhm.
uh, to take stage wins. There's nothing that a Wild Van Art is going to do in that situation.
But again, this is that's a 1 week stage race. We're on the long haul for a 3 week stage race.
That's the difference. That's the difference when you get into week two, when you get into week three, and Wild Van Art is still there just chugging away.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think the sort of like elephant in the room, we want to we want to do all this speculation about what's going to happen or whatever, but the thing that we don't want to talk about is that as he demonstrated in both of the Grand Tours that he raced last year, Pogacar has it in him to just on his own dominate the shit out of this race
Yeah.
the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, and that is what the Dauphiné looked like more than anything else. Is when it came down to Tade and Jonas head to head. Tade had more in the legs.
Well, I mean, obviously, it remains to be seen. I am optimistically hopeful that it's more competitive than what we expect. I
We
do,
all
because
are.
like I said,
We
I'm
all
trying to
are.
I'm trying to hype myself up to be like, yeah, man, like they've got this and da. You
Hmm.
know, hopefully that's a difference maker. They've done it before. Look, the guy is beatable. All right, he is beatable. He has been beaten. All right, so it's not like they haven't done this. Tactically speaking, they broke Pogacar. All right, they caught him on an off day and they broke him, and they cracked him, and especially in that second win, they cracked him good. You know what I mean? They cracked him early and rode away with it in the second Tour de France that they beat him on. He is beatable. All right. If it's hard enough, if it's hot enough, he's beatable. Yeah, like the Tour de France is just a different animal, man. It's the heart of, you know, the heat, and depending on the conditions, like it can level the conditions and the climbs, and we know that they have gone about Pogacar proofing these courses. You know what I'm saying? So it's the biggest race in the world. It's the biggest race of the year for a reason. So let's hope that the race organizers got it right, and we're gonna have a competitive race. And hopefully, team tactics play a factor into it, and he can't just run away with it. So I don't know. Plus, you didn't have a healthy Jonas last year. You know what I mean? Who still came in second, by the way, unhealthy.
Another X factor.
Yeah.
Another X factor
So
for sure. So
okay.
we'll
All
see.
right. Real quick, let's do our weekly UCI point standings. We had a lot of shifts this week. So our standings are through the 23rd. Our order stays the same. Our differences are significant. So Intermarché had a 707 last week had a 743 point lead. They have increased that to a 771 point lead. XDS Asana, who had a 586 point lead over Picnic Post and L, has seen their lead dwindle to a mere 58 points. Picnic Post and L, however, picked up from 64 points last week over Cofidis to 372 points over Cofidis, and they are now, even with some Cofidis success in the smaller races, they are, all three of these teams seem to be pulling away from Cofidis.
And that has got to be on the back of 4 top threes by Oscar Onley in Tour de Suisse.
Yes, 100%. Yes, that is definitely to do with Oscar Onley. And Kevin Vokaland, he rides for Cofidis, right? And he won this week, right? Isn't Kevin Vokaland with Cofidis? Or is that Archaea?
No, he's Archaea.
Archaea. So either way, that lead, they were only, Cofidis was only 64 points back, and now that deficit is now 372 a week later. They need to come strong in the Tour de France. They need to try to pick something up. They need to get in the breakaway. They need to figure out something, because this year is gonna, especially after the Tour and after the Vuelta, you're gonna be really, 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 fighting for it. And obviously, all of those teams will be at the Tour de France this year.
Yeah.
All right.
They got to figure out something.
Yeah, there's a lot to figure out. So, okay. It looks like you have one. I missed your first one being a cycling topic, but it kind of will help transition into non-cycling topics. So what is this Flanders Classics?
No, I want to do it a different direction. Actually, I want to finish with that one.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me bust out the other two. So the other two are just a couple of quicker recommendations. One, I downloaded the app Apple Photo Playground if you have iPhone, and you can use it to make like AI portraits of yourself. Like you can grab a photograph out of your photo roll, and then give it a bunch of AI parameters, and it's a fun little app to play with if you're into photo manipulation and stuff, and it's kind of cool.
Is this? It's not the thing where it brings your photo to life, is it?
Hmm.
Oh, dude, have you seen that creepy shit?
No.
You can give it a photo of you and dad from when you were a kid, and the AI will turn that shit into a living
you love me.
Yeah. And just it turns it into where it's moving and shit. It's fucking creepy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I created little AI generated avatars of our family based on photographs and the parameters that I put in, and they were pretty cool. I came up with some cool ones, especially Harmony's was I applied the sketched look with
You should have been here's pictures of my family, turn them into The Simpsons.
Yeah. So a recommendation for that. I also rewatched, I have no idea why, I can't remember why I put this on, but have you ever seen a documentary from 2007 called In the Shadow of the Moon?
Not that I.
It's about the space program. It's focused on the Apollo part of the space program where they went to the moon.
No, I've definitely not seen this.
It was made in 2007. It was produced by Ron Howard. It was directed by some guy named David Sington. It's actually a British production, but it's about this American event. And it's about the Apollo space program. It mainly focuses in on Apollo 11, the big one, where Armstrong walked on the moon. They've got 2 of the 3 guys on the team from that one. Neil Armstrong has been famously very quiet. I think he's dead now, but was very quiet about he rarely did stuff like that, and they couldn't get him for this thing. But they had Collins and Aldrin all throughout this thing. The guy
Buzz loves to talk.
Yeah. the guy Michael Collins is like, I could listen to that guy talk about this stuff forever. He's so insightful. But all the guys, so they have 10 of the 24 Apollo astronauts that were either walked on the moon or were like orbiting the moon that got near the moon. There was 24 of them in total, and they got 10 of them as talking heads on this thing. Um, there's not really a lot of narration. It's one of those ones where there's not like, stuff, there words flashing up on the screen like constantly like telling you about stuff. It's just like kind of handled so artfully through the
Like the
just
interview
through the
process.
production and the interviews. You know what I mean? Like the interviews give you all the information you need.
Yeah,
Um,
good. I mean, good
and
documentaries do that.
they got all this is the really great thing about it. I mean, it's artfully done. It's like Ken Burns level, in terms of like the emotional content of it, like the use of the music cues and the editing and everything to really give you a good emotional response. But they got all of the old NASA footage, like the original footage. So they've got these incredible shots where it's like a stationary camera, and it's like so close in that you're just seeing in the entire frame, you're just seeing rocket, like
That's awesome.
it's just like super slow, but it's like the most high def camera that NASA could have in 1969, and you were just seeing this hulking rocket going by, and like the vapor trails that are like flying off of it in an angle, and like suddenly you're just like seeing this like misty vision of like the American flag coming up through the picture as you're hearing this like incredible like they got incredible footage. There was another shot where they mounted a camera inside of one of the pieces of the rocket that like fell off and like fell back to Earth, but they put a camera inside that thing and were able to recover the film later on, because this is 1969. It's not like this shit's being like digitally,
No, 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 no. It would have been like
broadcast
in a. It would have
back
been
to
like
Houston.
in a box.
Yeah, it's like in a
Yeah.
canister they had to go retrieve out of the Indian Ocean or whatever. And like, but somehow I don't know how they got this, but it was basically like a round piece of like the outer shell of a rocket, right? And they had a camera mounted down inside of it, but it like held its position so perfectly that this camera looking up out of it could see the rocket booster that was like still going with like the guys, and it could see it, and it was just like you just saw it going away and going away. Like it's like
That's crazy.
incredible. This is an incredible documentary.
All
Like
right,
between the
man.
stuff that the guys say, like it's so good. I'd seen it before. I've been wanting to circle back to it, and for some reason I watched it. Anyways, it's called In the Shadow of the Moon, uh, about the Apollo space program. But what I really, really, really want to get into, and I mentioned like way back in the show when we first started talking tonight, that I was going to be making a recommendation for something that we need to do as a full topic,
Okay.
the YouTube doc from Flanders Classics, which is the production company that puts out like most of the Flanders races.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's got that sort of like digitized logo where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
FLVF.
about.
Yeah. So these guys put out a lot of content, this company, and there's a ton of YouTube videos. They have a very robust YouTube channel called Flanders Classics. And I happen to hear somebody on a podcast like recommend their recap of the 2019 Ronde van Vlaanderen. So I don't know if you noticed, but I've had this thing sitting there in my team bus recommendations for like the past like 4 weeks, and I keep like pushing it ahead a week and pushing it ahead. And I finally caught up with it today. I was like, I was out cutting the grass, and it was so insanely hot that I was like, you know what? I gotta do this. I gotta be smart here. You just finish the first section, go inside, take a break, cool down, relax for a little bit. And I was like, oh yeah, and I had the show notes up on the computer, and I happened to glance at it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna start watching that, because like whoever I heard the recommendation from, they were like, oh, this thing is so great, man. It's like such a good look at the Ronde van Vlaanderen. Bro, I can't describe to you how good this thing is. Like we must. do a segment either on this or like they have a lot of content on there. Like I feel like I've only scratched the surface, and if it's all as good as this is, like
And it's their
this
they're
like
like
it's
edited
gonna get us
versions
through
of
the
the race
winter.
that's just giving you the the good shit.
Dude, it's giving you everything. It's giving you Rob Hatch in the studio with like the other guy. Like you're seeing Rob Hatch talking, you're seeing his whole setup, like his screen, where he's sitting, and his narration is going throughout the whole thing, but you're also getting the narration from like the Belgian people and the narration from the other Belgian people, and you're seeing the UCI people in their little booth, you're seeing the UCI people in the car, you're seeing Matthew Vanderpool's soigneurs sitting in their car like waiting for Vanderpool, and it's like these two dudes sitting in a car, they're keeping up with the race the whole time, like everything is spooling out in real time, but like they're cutting quickly between all these different players that are involved in this race in every possible way. They're going to the guys on the motorbikes. You're seeing the guys inside the helicopters. You're seeing a guy in a restaurant in fucking Belgium who's like the manager of the restaurant, and he is like holding court with all these people there. They're all watching the bike races. You're seeing another restaurant where they're watching the bike race, and the TV screens are on. You're seeing a group of like local, like a Belgian, biking club that like come rolling off of their morning ride. They're all biking gear and they roll into the cafe. They sit down. They start watching the race, and like like you
All
see
right.
every single bit of
I'm
this race.
sold.
It's so
I'm
good.
sold. I'm sold. I'm
It's
sold.
so
I'm
good.
sold. I'm sold.
Oh my god, it's so
Since
good.
since there's not really much to watch this week, I may watch that tomorrow morning, right when I'm
Just
done
follow that link.
editing the
It's
podcast.
it's so good. I can't describe to you. Like you will love every single second of this thing. It's going to answer so many questions for you. Like you're going to see all the behind the scenes stuff that like you've been wondering about as a cycling
All right,
fan.
I'm
It's
in. I'm
good.
in. I'm in.
It's, I want to see this for every single bike race. You know what I mean?
I'm in.
It's
I'm in. Don't
I'll
forget.
put
Hey,
it to you this way.
don't forget
It's
too. I
way
don't
better
know.
than Tour de France Unchained.
I don't know. Speaking of that, I that's got to be coming pretty quick.
Hmm.
I feel like that's. I mean, like it's. We are like on the cusp of that. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see
Yeah.
if it's like showing in. Showing like, oh yeah, new season coming. When
When
is
is it?
this?
When
I'm
does
gonna
it drop?
find
You know
out.
what else is
Ooh,
coming? You know what else is
ooh,
coming?
July 2nd.
Oh my god! And you know what else is coming? Like right at the end of June,
What's that?
The Bear.
Oh yeah, the bear comes out. I just looked up because I'm gonna be in Hilton Head when it comes. But something you should do the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th of July. You need to go see Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap in theaters. By the
No,
way, you need to just go buy
no,
tickets
no.
when you get up. When we're done with this, go buy tickets right now. There's a ton of places in DC that are showing it. Yeah, I believe it's the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. So
Yeah, you're
Saturday,
right.
Sunday, Saturday was that? I think that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like you should. I literally, if it wasn't an hour and 20 minutes for me to go see it down in Hilton Head, I would go see it. But I would absolutely throw that out there to you that go catch This Is Spinal Tap
Mhm.
re-released, remastered in theaters, July 5th, 6th, and 7th. It's one of those like epic event things where they're doing it all over the country.
I'm all over that. I got to look at my calendar. I'm going to do it on.
I'm sure you can make one of those 3 days work, a matinee and or a evening viewing. Luckily, those are all days that I'm pretty sure that you don't work. So
Oh fuck! All right, we're gonna do it on Sunday. We're doing it on Sunday. Well, this one meeting on Saturday. We're doing it on Sunday.
there you go.
Thanks. Yes.
So there's that. There's something else that's coming out that I'm excited about. Dude, have you seen the trailers for this F1 movie with Brad Pitt?
Oh, I'm stoked for F1.
Ooh, that looks so good. I mean, the trailer looks so good. And then today I saw some crazy like new horror film that's coming out. Damn, I wish I'd wrote it down. I like saw it in passing. This crazy like It's damn. Can't think. That's gonna kill me. But there's a new horror
Did
film
you see
that
that?
looks really good.
Did you see that Ferrari movie that came out a couple of years ago with Adam Driver?
You know what? It's a movie that I've scrolled over 20 times and like almost clicked on and then didn't click on.
Watch it. It's really cool, especially like because we're into pro cycling. It's got all the old like Italy, like racing and cycling. To me, like the iconography of racing and cycling, like car racing and cycling, especially in Europe, it's all the same milieu. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, I'm very
and
into it because
but
obviously, in video games I love cars. So
the thing about that movie that stands out to me that I will never forget is there's a scene with a car crash in it. That's all I'll say. That's one of the most harrowing things I've ever seen in my life.
is it when the car flips into the grandstand?
No, that you're thinking of Le Mans 1955. This is something different.
Okay.
But one of the most harrowing car crashes ever depicted on film. It's freaking crazy. But I just have to go back and say that this Flanders Classic documentary, it is as good as it gets for cycling fans. I'm telling you, I'm going to gobble up absolutely everything on this station. I mean, that's just like one doc from 2019. I'm sure they've been putting these out every year.
All right.
And
Well, they're gonna get a subscribe from me very, very quickly.
I just subscribed today too. So yeah. So that completes all of my stuff.
I'm good.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Team Bus, brought to you by the Beyond the Slipstream podcast. I'm Matt. This is my brother Justin. Thanks for listening.
The Team Bus is part of the Beyond the Slipstream family and is produced by Harperama. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like, subscribe, leave a review, and tell your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Ale!